This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Hello, America, and welcome to the #1 radio station in all of Fort Myers Beach. Beach Talk Radio. Here are your hosts, Kim and Ed Ryan.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to a Monday episode of Beach Talk Radio. It's our first episode of Mondays with the Mayor, and there you see Mayor Dan Allers, ready to take your questions, ready to answer some questions we have put together from earlier today. And first, I hope you had a nice holiday gathering with the family, Dan.
Actually, Megan went on without me. I had to stick behind and take care of some things here at the beach.
The price for making the big bucks, I guess, huh?
Yeah. So I enjoyed some Chef Boyardee out of a can.
Well, we did have a nice Thanksgiving day. Yeah. It was nice to see the former vice president at the Beach Baptist Church on Thanksgiving Day. That was a new experience for me, and it was a great conversation we had with him.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise. It was nice for him to stop in, and he took a lot of time to shake a lot of hands and take a lot of pictures, and just a really nice, down-to-earth gentleman.
All righty. So I did receive a question, and folks, once we get through a couple of questions, if you want to type any in the chat box, Dan is always open to answering questions, and if he doesn't have the answer, he always will find it for you. I did receive one question right before the show that I wanted to read to you because I thought it was pretty interesting, and see if you can help out this person. He says his family has a house on Fort Myers Beach, but he's not there all the time. His neighbor used a company called Remove It to demolish their house, largely with a bobcat. When he arrived back at the house last Wednesday, he discovered that the company dumped part of the concrete remnants of the neighbor's house into their yard. And in doing so, they dug into the yard with the bobcat and they pushed the debris into the yard. So the questions that he has for you, if maybe we can find them out if we don't know them, is who is overseeing those kinds of companies and who at the town does he file a complaint with?
Well, the Department of Business, I can never get the acronym correct. It's the Department of Business. They would be the ones that I would call first. I wrote down the name. They said it was Remove It.
Yep. And I'm going to he sent over some pictures, so I am going to pop a few of them up here just in case people want to see.
And they were hired by the homeowner themselves?
He says they were hired by the neighbor, and so these folks got all of this debris left out in front, as you can see it there. I hope you can see the pictures. And then the other thing that he said was that the appliances, this refrigerator that I showed you there was pushed out there as well. So the second question of 3 is the debris something the claw trucks will pick up off of his yard? It is by the curb, or is he now responsible to remove the mess they dumped in the yard?
If it's in the right of way, it'll get picked up.
Okay. And then the last question is, does he need to...
And if they went to the iandebriscleanup.com and filled it out, they'd get on the list for that as well.
All right. Well, that was the third question. Does he need to be registered with iandebriscleanup.com for the garbage to be...
You want to do that. I mean, it's important to do that because the more residents that do, it shows that there's more debris out there.
Yep.
It just keeps the state engaged.
Gotcha. Now, this final part of this was these signs. He says that the company clearly went onto private property to plaster their signs by almost every house on the street, even went as far as stapling their signs into one of the houses on the block that had no door. Since they so nicely plastered one of their signs by my front door, I am including a picture of it and the debris they left in the yard. So I don't know what can be done about that, but he wanted to share it.
So hang on a quick second. So there's a company called Remove It that is pushing debris onto other people's property. I got the number here. I'll pass it on to you if you can.
Yeah, we'll definitely address that. We're not supposed to be doing that.
We'll get on it.
Okie doke. And I will forward this email to you so you can see who it came from.
All right, thanks.
All righty. So the second question that I wanted to throw at you real quick was I notice a growing number of poinsettias in Times Square that people are buying and dropping off there. And they, I don't know how big that's going to grow, but what are you working on there?
So Jason Freeman was him and his team were going out to look to see if the frame was usable after the storm. Sounds like it is.
Nice.
I did pass a message on to the town manager that Mr. Hiley, he and his wife have offered to pick up the tab for the poinsettias for the tree. It's very nice that people are dropping them off, but I'm finding out that it takes all different sizes and shapes to fit in there just right to make that tree look the way that we all know what it looks like. So I'm going to put Hiley's in contact with Mr. Freeman tomorrow and let them work it out. They usually just get them from Home Depot, so maybe Jason can, call in what he needs, and then they can call in if they choose they want to pay for it, and then we can handle it from there and get it set up. So the ball's moving.
So you would prefer that people didn't buy them and put them there because something is being done?
We're working on it, yeah. I mean,
okay.
I don't want to tell people they can't do that, but I'd hate for them to buy them and put them there if they can't be used. So
now, if there's a need for more poinsettias, somebody will let us know, because if one thing is clear, we have people that are willing to get stuff. Okay, so let's turn to FEMA. I found out today from Lee County, but you probably already knew this, that they extended the debris 100% reimbursement for 15 days only. So kind of take us through what that means.
I think it's the 7th of December. Essentially, that means that they will pick up all the costs after that. I've been told it goes to 90%, 10%, which would be 5% state, 5% the town. But I also understand that there's ways to get grants and things to help offset that cost for the town. So it's still going to be picked up. I don't want people to think just because there's a deadline that the debris removal is going to stop. That's not the case. It just depends on who pays for it after that. So it's still be getting cleaned up. It's still going to be getting moved as fast as they can move it. So don't worry, because the deadline hits there. You're not going to stop seeing trucks. You're not going to stop seeing this debris picked up.
Okay. And so after December 7th, it becomes 95.5 or 90 and 10. Is there another deadline that you know about after that where it gets even lower and then it becomes more of a financial burden to the town?
Not that I'm aware of. I could check on that, but not that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right. And is the town okay financially to cover that 5%, or you feel comfortable that you're going to get the grants?
Well, it gets reimbursed. I mean, yeah, I've been told we'll be okay.
Okay. That's good enough. So pop up Mary's question here before the next one. Is the request number sufficient to start the electrical work, or do we need the permit?
Are you talking about to do the electrical work for your house completely, or to do the meter box, or like I guess
somebody answered you need the actual permit. You can check the permit website to see the status.
Yeah, that's always the best case is to make sure you have the permit.
Okay. All right. So over the weekend, a couple folks sent me pictures of their canals in the back of their house with cars and pieces of houses still there. Do you have an update on the canals being cleaned up?
The public canals, again, public canals, not private canals, will be picked up. That's being covered by the state. The state is handling that. And I think we only have 4 or 5, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in there, private canals. Tropical Shores Way 1 right behind the building here, I know is privately owned land. So any publicly owned canal will be cleaned up by the state.
So if it's a private canal like the one you just mentioned, those neighbors have to figure it out?
The landowner.
Yep. Gotcha. Okay, so the beach school is still an ongoing issue. I saw that school board member Chris Patrica is holding a public forum a week from today at the Skip One building. Anything new in your discussions with anybody over the last few days about the beach school?
I spoke to the superintendent today.
Okay.
About a couple hours ago about where they're at in the process. He's having his team put together numbers, obviously, for every scenario. because of the historical building that's there. They're, every scenario you could think of, they're putting numbers together to try to figure it out. I did present to him Mr. Bean's offer from Nautilus. He had heard of it, but he wasn't fully aware of it. I told him that I'll be meeting with Mr. Bean tomorrow to kind of meet him and talk through it a little bit with him, and then present that to him as soon as I can. Obviously, it sounds like they already have an RFP out there for the remediation. So he's got his legal team looking on that to see if Nautilus was one of those or they weren't. So it's still moving forward. He's going to present, all the options that are available at the 13th, December 13th meeting, and the board will decide then in January the course of action.
Gotcha. Greg, sorry about that. I must have misunderstood what she texted me about that meeting. So it's the parents have organized the forum and invited Ms. Patrica. So I apologize if I get that backwards there.
The superintendent told me tonight that he's planning on being there as well.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. So December 5th from 6 to 7:30 at the Skip One building, which is the restaurant on the right-hand side where the town council held one or two of its meetings. So Dan, what is the vibe what are you feeling from what the conversations? Are you feeling like they want to fix this thing?
Well, I certainly think there's a want to do it. Like anything else, it's going to come down to dollars and cents, I think. But I think that they're definitely, they heard the plight from the community, obviously, at the meeting. They heard it loud and clear from everybody that spoke. So it didn't fall on deaf ears. I'll give him credit. Just in speaking to the superintendent the last few times a couple times I talked to him, he seems very open. He seems very honest. He lays it out there. This is what the options are going to be, and it'll be up to the school board to make the decision. Gotcha. So, I'm certainly going to keep pushing for it. It's going to come down to the board members, and we'll see where they go with it. But I think keep letting them know how important it is to us, and maybe that as I said in what I spoke at the meeting, it's give us an opportunity to be able to find solutions to increase the enrollment, to find solutions with partners in the community that are willing to invest in our community schools. So they've heard us, they understand us, and we'll keep working on our end. And I know the parents will keep working. I know you'll keep working. And I know they'll keep working. And as long as we keep the communication open, I think we can come to a resolution.
And by the way, the news press did an excellent article. I think it came out today. I saw it posted today on the whole situation with the beach school on Fort Myers Beach. And if you haven't seen it yet, you should check it out as soon as you can. After the show, of course, you don't want to leave the show to go do anything. Saw some action over on Bayside Park. Employees working on over there. What's the update on the park?
Still talking to the state. It's still moving forward. We've got some good news coming, hopefully. Just dotting some I's, crossing some T's, and figuring some stuff out. So, the meeting that I had with the state officials, showing them the park and how far along it is, and what kind of shape it's in. That they saw the importance of having a park open up. They saw that it wasn't a major investment. So they're working with us, and I'm confident that we'll be able to get that park open. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen next week, but it will definitely happen. I believe it'll definitely happen.
An easy one out you hear from Joni, who's watching. What is the curfew time and how long will it last?
Hang on, I just want to go back. I forgot about a note. He just made sure he reminded me. So back to the canals.
Okay.
If the private canal owners go to iandebriscleanup.com and fill out the right of entry, then the state will go in and clean out those canals.
Okay, so that's basically the same as them coming to demolish your house.
Yep. If you're the landowner and it's privately owned, then just go to iandebriscleanup.com, fill out the right of entry form, register, and they'll come and clean the canals.
All right, back to Joni's question about the curfew. How much longer do you think this will last? It's 7 to 7, I believe now, right?
It's 8 to 6 for the North Bridge. And then the South Bridge contractors, that's for residents and contractors on the North Bridge. On the South Bridge, the 8 to 6 is for just residents. Contractors will still have to abide by the 7 to 7 because Bonita has a different curfew. than we do, so you have to go through Bonita to get onto the south end of the island. Residents, I've been told, will be allowed through for that 8 to 6 curfew. They'll let them through, but any contractors, if they want to start earlier, at 6 o'clock they want to start, they have to come around the north side.
Okay, you said 8 to 6. Did you mean 6 to 8?
6 to 8, however.
Okay.
6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Gotcha. I want to make sure I don't, because I would be
Yeah,
confused.
I know.
Yeah. I know we had this on our list to bring up, so I might as well let Janelle bring it up. Do you know anything about mail or any deliveries of any kinds of mail down on the beach?
Well, I know we've received, FedEx has delivered to our house. We've received a couple of packages there. I don't know about USPS, and I know the post office isn't. So there is no, as of today, there was no update to when we can expect the post office to resume normal deliveries on the island or USPS. But I have received a FedEx package to our house.
Has anybody said anything about what might happen to the post office that you know of?
Not yet. No, still talking about that.
Okay. Is Buttonwood getting any packages? Somebody just asked me that today. Is any?
So the wish list that is out there, the Amazon wish list, is going to that address, and it's getting picked up by the volunteers every single day, sometimes 2-3 times a day.
Okay.
But Megan, I know she ordered something off of Amazon, and it came to Buttonwood just yesterday or the day before. So I don't know if everything could possibly go there, but we have received something there from Amazon.
Okay, so just so everybody watching knows, there are 2 Amazon wish lists going. The one that Dan is talking about is the one where they're still donating supplies for people on the beach that need it, cleaning supplies, mostly generators, power washers, power tools, things like that. And the one that we have up for this week is the one that is being sent to our house just for this week for the holiday celebration for the Beach Kids Foundation. So those 2 things are going on. So if you can find the Amazon wish list for the supplies also on our website, I'll just make sure that people know where to find it if they want to donate. What are the needs?
Great. I think 7 more generators just came yesterday.
Nice.
So
nice.
Appreciate all the help people are getting. It's really dropped that list down. I think I haven't checked today. I haven't been by it today to see where we're at, but I think we had 70 something, and we've had over 40 come in the last couple of days. So we're checking that list off pretty quick, and people are bringing them back when they're getting power, which is great. Bringing them back so we can reissue them back out to someone else.
Awesome. And Kim said you made her carry all the generators on Saturday. Is there any truth to that, or did you carry it for you? Yeah. My wife.
I didn't see her, so she must have.
So is it still
your house? Yeah, your house. Yeah.
Is it still mostly? What are the top 5 things that are still needed by folks?
Well, generators for sure. I haven't been able to talk to anybody in there today. I haven't been there yet today, but I'll get some information either tonight or tomorrow morning, and I can let you know. But it's always the same. I mean, it seems like right now it's power tools, it's rakes, shovels, pressure washers, that kind of stuff, or wheelbarrows, anything that's for cleaning up essentially is, and now starting to see a lot of rebuilding stuff. So those are the major things. Not so much need for wet wipes or pretty much everybody's got water back now. So
yeah. Dehumidifiers, Jackie's saying, was that an item that people need still?
I have not heard that, but that's very possible. Anytime we get a dehumidifier, it's gone that day. So I know they have a list for it.
Got it. All right, so we'll get an update on that and resend the link if you all want to donate for the folks on the beach that still need supplies. What's the latest on Comcast that you know?
So we're trying to track down someone from Comcast that can come into our meeting on Monday and kind of give us an update. I do see him on the road every day working on the main line. We have Comcast at our house, so I received an email saying that they expect Comcast services to be available in the area around December 8th, and we're just down past Publix a little bit. So they keep, I'd say once every week or so, once every 2 weeks, we'll get an update through our online bill or whatever where they're at. So I see that they're out there working. I have heard that people are calling to get service, and they're not getting service because service hasn't been restored to their area yet. So I don't have a very good answer for that, but there's a lot of people in this building that are working hard to find someone from Comcast that could come to the meeting on Monday and kind of give us a better understanding. But I've seen them on San Carlos Island. They pretty much got most of the Comcast lines replaced. It looks like most of the main line going down Estero Boulevard has been replaced. So they're working on it. I just, got to work around everybody else. We all got to work together.
Right. You said you mentioned public, so I wanted to see if you knew anything new. Last I had heard, it was January that they were going to reopen. Any new news on the Publix?
No, that's about the same thing I know. I haven't had a chance to talk to anybody there yet to see that. I know they've got it kind of fenced off, and they're working their butts off every day. So I know they're pushing hard to get it open as soon as they can.
What about CVS? You hear anything? I mean, doesn't even look to me like they have done any work on that facility that I saw.
No, haven't heard of anything from CVS. And if anybody out there that's listening, your audience knows anybody at corporate 7-Eleven, please send their contact information my way. We're struggling to get in front of them to find out what their plans are. I had a conversation today with the fire chief. Those buildings are very unsafe, as well as some of the other ones that are out there, and people are going inside these, especially Sunday. We had the looky-loos coming around and climbing inside these buildings that could fall down at any second. And we got to shoot people out. So you got to be smart when you're down here. You can't go in these buildings. There's a red tag on them for a reason. They're not safe, but we need to try to figure out someone from 7-Eleven that we can get in front of to find out what their plans are. If they're going to fence these off, they're going to tear them down, they're going to reopen them. We don't have any gas on the island, and they're the only gas station. And our residents and our visitors have spent millions and millions of dollars over the years keeping those stores open. And to me, this is just me speaking, it feels like we're kind of being left high and dry by 7-Eleven. And anybody that needs to get gas for their generator or anything has to go 7 miles off the island to go find gas, which is putting more traffic on the road, which is putting more strain on the trucks trying to do their work. It's not a lucrative business bringing in a tanker truck and just parking a tanker truck for people to get gas. But I would hope that a company that has been on the island for a long, long time would be willing to come in and help out a community that's helped them.
Well, I have the franchisee's information. If you don't have that, he came to the house. We gave some money from our employee fund to his employees, so I'll forward that to you. He did say while he was here, but that was weeks ago, that they were planning to rebuild, that the corporate was planning to rebuild those. I don't know if it was all three, but at least one. So I'll forward you his information after the show, and maybe that's a start.
Maybe he's got a contact, or he or she has a contact, and we can get in front of it. Just kind of want to figure out where they're at, do they have any intentions, or don't they have any intentions to do anything, and so we can start making a plan as to what our next steps will be if that's the case.
All right, let's put Jim's question up. Are permits for electric repairs being approved in a timely fashion?
I'll check with Steve, our building official, tomorrow. I know that they're working as fast as they can. We're talking today about reallocating some resources from another department to assist in this. So I don't know the time frame. Everyone's probably a little bit different. I know some go faster than others, just depending on if all the stuff is in there right the first time. But I'll check with Steve and see if I can get an estimate as to what specifically on electrical permits. Again, are we talking about just a meter replaced so they can get power back, or are we talking about a full electrical rewire of your entire house? One may take longer than the other. I'd have to check to see, but I've heard that the just the meter replaces and the panels and the meter cans outside, that those permits are moving through fairly quickly.
A couple of people have posted that if you know the permit number, you can look it up on the website.
Yes,
and somebody, the lady that asked the question earlier, by the time we had discussed a few other questions, somebody had looked up her permit for her and posted on here that it was denied. So some of the folks out there know how to get it right on there and look for the permits. So
yeah, you can go and do just a search through the search bar, permit search, and then you can type in your permit number. It's usually, I think, a 6-digit number. You can type it in and see the status, and if there's something that needs to be on there, you can check it every day, check it 5 times a day if you want to, but they update it pretty quickly.
Now, Mike, I don't know if you're talking about Bayside Park. If you are, we discussed that earlier about where the Bayside Park is, and we are going to talk about the other park in a second. By the way, Mike Bannock, everybody, is out there doing a lot of great work for debris removal. If you personally need somebody, you should reach out to him. I got another positive email from somebody that was using Mike to help them move debris. If you need some help, you want to call Mike. He's somebody that you can trust. He's on our trusted list of folks that we have. So reach out to Mike. He's obviously he's on Facebook, and we've given out his number quite a few times. What's the status of the town hall and where that's going to be located, or where it might be located, at least temporarily?
So right now we're working out of 2 trailers, and I'm learning the lingo. They call them EMUs. I don't know what that stands for. Emergency unit something. I'm sure. MIMU, not EMU. See? Yeah, so right now there's the 2 trailers are here, so staff is set up working out of those. We're working on quotes, obviously for
Town hall.
No, but working for folks at Bay Oaks, the building at Bay Oaks. Those are due by the 8th to see what that's going to come in a time frame to potentially put offices in there. We're also working on mobile trailers that anybody that's maybe seen the DeAngelis Diamond ones that are at the base of the bridge there that are set up for Margaritaville, a compound kind of like that. It looks like a trailer, but it's office buildings on the inside. Doing those both for town hall setup, as well as our medical facility, and as well as the fire department. So all on the old Tops property. That is kind of the direction that we're moving now. Just getting some quotes. Larry from Jacksonville has been helping us out greatly on that. So he's working on that, but that's more than likely. We have looked at all the places I've listed. We've all heard about the green building that's down by the 7-Eleven. We got the price back on that, and it was
Crazy.
way too high. So, and that's a monthly expense that the town just can't afford, in my opinion. But so that's not an option. We did look at a couple other buildings on the island that just are too far along. So I'd say that for now the two leading things are probably Bay Oaks, as well as the trailers that I mentioned. I don't even call them trailers, but the portable conference rooms or whatever. So the goal is to have a setup here. Once that setup is here, then the 2 MIMUs that are out here, the 2 big trailers from Jacksonville will go away. So that we'll have, kind of I don't like the word to use compound, but we'll have a place where people can walk in and check on their permits and interact with staff. And right now it's a little difficult because they are working out of a small little trailer. So those are kind of the plans. As I get more updates as to timing, they're saying with Bay Oaks, once the bids come in and council has a chance to look them over, either approve or denied. If it's approved, then they're saying 3 to 4 months for completion of the gym to be able to get that open running as a temporary town hall. Still be able to use it as a rec center when you're not using it for conference meeting or council meetings and stuff like that. But, so that's kind of the path that we're going down as of right now.
Doug, we did talk about the company. We talked about the school earlier in the show. If you want to go back and listen to get an update on that. So, have you heard of what the next restaurant that might be to open on the beaches? Are you hearing any other restaurants or businesses that are getting close? I know Tuna Skin. I saw them; they were open this past weekend, and we know the regulars, the Wahoo Willie's and Bayfront Bistro. Have you heard of any others that are close?
Yucatan, I believe they have some food set up out there on their back parking lot, and I think they got their swing bar open now. I have not heard, as of today, I have not heard of any other ones that are close to opening. Obviously, a lot of people are working on food trucks, and I've heard that Brewed Shrimp is working on a solution to do what they want to do. I've heard Tuckaway is working on something as well. So there's a lot I've heard of people working on stuff. I just don't have any information.
Have you, I know that there's some folks working on a plan for Times Square. Have you seen any drawings or any proposals for some kind of resolution for new Times Square?
I have not seen anything yet.
Okay. I sent a note to Brian Hammond to see if he had they had any kind of timetable for the pier being repaired or Lynn Hall Park, and he said he would check. That he didn't think they did right now. You're hearing anything different about where the priorities on Fort Myers Beach for Lee County are as far as Lynn Hall Park outage and the pier?
No, I spoke with Commissioner Sandelli today about it. There's been, as of yet, there's no discussions as far as the pier itself. We did talk about Lynn Hall Park, and in true Commissioner Sandelli fashion, he's always compassionate about what the beach needs are. What does Fort Myers Beach need? What would we like to see? It is a county property, but he believes in collaborative solutions like the rest of us, and working with us to see what would be best interest for us. May not be something that we get, but it's something that we could think about and discuss, and so it's in the discussion phases right now. There's really been no sit down communication as far as what's next with it. I think everybody's still trying to figure out exactly what the requirements are going to be for building back. So the LPA will be meeting here at the beginning of the month. I think the only thing on their agenda, if I remember correctly, is just setbacks is going to be kind of the first dedicated thing to talk about setbacks. So starting to get back into the flow of normalcy, I guess, a little bit, if you will, as we get into the holidays. And my hope is after the first of the year, we can get all the committees back and start moving forward and continuing the rebuild.
Have you heard Rhonda asked a good question. Have you heard of any FEMA trailers getting approval yet on Fort Myers Beach? I know there's been discussion about it forever.
Yeah. Well, I had asked, so we're trying to set up a town hall meeting for the first week of December, kind of like the last one, so we can have state officials, FEMA officials, our officials, everybody can come in, ask the questions that they want asked, get the answers that they need. It'll probably be, on town hall property here, and one of the tents would be my guess. But so we're starting to work on that, just trying to confirm the dates with all the people that are going to be there. I did talk to FEMA today about trailers to try to find out if, it's an 18-month program. Does that start from the day of the storm? Does that start from the day that it can get approved? They're working through their requirements, as well as are we going to have to elevate these, not elevate these? Some places they're not going to be able to put them because they can't be on the ground. So they're still working through that. They told me they're getting close. I've heard that people have gotten communication from FEMA as far as being approved. I don't know of anyone personally that has been approved for a trailer, but I don't think there's any that I know of. There's none on the island yet.
Gotcha. When you talk to
I'm glad you brought that up, because they ask if anybody out there is listening and it doesn't have to be on Fort Myers Beach. It can be off Fort Myers Beach. But if someone has, I did show them a couple properties on the island that could work for FEMA cities, if you will, where they could put these tents, but because of the flood plain that these properties are in, they couldn't use them. But they're looking for hotels, they're looking for duplexes, Airbnbs, anything like that they could use for housing to get people into. They're open to anything. They're open to talk to anybody. So if you have a hotel or you have something that's available to put people in, reach out to FEMA. I can get you that information to talk to them, and they'll come out and take a look and go from there. But they're actively looking for solutions to get people put into some homes.
When you were talking to Commissioner Sandelli today, or at any other time, did widening Estero Boulevard come up at all?
We talked about it. So for some reason, I don't know, there's evidently a quote of me saying I'm open to discussions or something when it comes to widening. I don't know where that came from. I did have someone ask me at one time about the area that doesn't have a bike lane on the north end. Is there ever a potential to widen that? And that's when I said, I don't know, everything's up for discussion, but we have to talk to the county. It's the county's road. And so somehow that got transformed into a 4-lane road going down Estero Boulevard. And there's no discussions that I know of. Commissioner Sandelli hasn't heard any discussions about that. So as far as I'm concerned, that's all just coconut telegraph at this point. There's been no discussions. There's been no communications.
Because you would still have to tear up the sidewalks if we're talking about from Red Coconut to the bridge. You'd have to tear up all the sidewalks.
Right. To add a bike lane. I mean, that's what my comment was, or that's what my response was, is to that question specifically, not the entire boulevard. And like I said, I spoke to Commissioner Sandelli today, and there's no discussion about that. They just finished the road.
Right. So just to pass this along to you from Lisa, she said Coastal Vacation Properties will have some properties available soon. I'm guessing that might have something to do with the FEMA discussion we just had.
Yeah, they have their specific rules that whether or not it falls in, they would have to chat with them about that, but we can get them in contact with them.
So the new town managers, interim town managers have started a couple days now. They've been on the job and they'll be here for 6 months and start the search for a permanent town manager. What would you like, or what are their top priorities going to be here in addition to finding a new permanent town manager?
Well, I think their top priorities in my conversations with town manager today is, they're still working on figuring out where we're at. How do we procure some of these contracts? How do where do we need help with staff? Where do we not need help with staff? How can we redirect staff to make sure we're getting optimal performance out of everybody? So he's still working through that. I know he had meetings today with all the department heads, I think throughout the week he's going to have meetings with department heads to figure out what their needs are, making sure that we're getting our list together of everything that we can ask the state for help on, so that when we go and have the meeting next month or next week with them, week after, that we have our ducks in a row. We can present the best we can as to what we need. So his focus is really on that at this point, is sifting through. He's doing an excellent job, in my opinion, of listening to what people need, asking the right questions, pointing in the right direction, redirecting things that don't need to be a high priority right now. So he's doing the best he can. Both he and I came in. They have a saying around here: you drink it through a fire hose. So we're gulping as big as we can, and we're moving forward. But he just left here shortly, just before I started this. So we're in constant communication every day. Both he and I are here, along with John Ward, who's been a tremendous asset to us, and we're doing the best we can. I think we're making some good decisions, and just keep moving forward.
Do you guys feel that the state and the federal government are still paying as much attention to Fort Myers Beach as they should be?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're responsive. Any questions we have, they're in our meetings every day. FEMA representatives are here, state representatives are here every single day with boots on the ground. So they're fully engaged. They're always constantly asking for help, or asking us what help they can give us. So they're tremendous partners. They've been fantastic in helping us get things done. Now that our incident command teams have left, they've been really the ones here that have been driving, asking us what we need. We give them suggestions. They either tell us, yes, we can do that, or no, we can't. We move on and just keep getting things done.
All right, we'll take care. If you have questions, pop them up there. We're not going to keep Dan all night. Let's pop Karen's question up there. What about people that need to demo but trying to save a pool, being told a demo permit and rebuild need to happen together, and that is not feasible? Survey, geotech, etc. want property cleared.
So I'm just trying to read it. So they're being told a demo permit and a rebuild permit need to happen together, and that is not feasible. So you want to keep the pool.
That's what it sounds like.
You want to keep the pool, but you're being told you need a demo permit and a to make it. I'll ask Steve about that tomorrow.
Okay.
I know people are getting demo permits. You do need a demo permit, and I believe even through iandebriscleanup.com, you still need to get a demo permit. So you still need to get a demo permit, apply for a demo permit, even for the Ian Debris cleanup. So you need that first, and then obviously you get a rebuild permit. But I'll ask Steve about, do they have to run concurrent? Essentially, is what they're asking.
Got it. All right. Let's see. I want to ask a question about the sand. Still, when I was walking around on Saturday, still a lot of sand on Estero Boulevard. Not as much as when it first happened, but still a lot of sand to be cleaned up. And Rick wants to know what's being done to replenish the sand on the south end of the island.
So I just got this very large packet from Chad today about from our coastal engineer consultants about what we're asking for sand and how much sand is needed. And I'd be lying if I told you that I understand all the G's and the B's and all the technical terms that go into the sand. But I know that they're sifting sand at Bowditch. I know that they were still sifting sand, or maybe they just finished. I think today. I think I didn't see the pile there at Crescent, but they're working with the people that they need to work with, Chad and our staff, to get the sand in. They know how much sand we need, or roughly how much sand we need. It's just a matter of getting it here and going through the process to be committed to getting what we need. And I just got this today, so I haven't had a chance to read through it yet to see there's numbers in there, like, for instance, 905,000 cubic yards and 1 million cubic yards. So there's a lot of cubic yards of sand that are needed.
Dan, how does all this throw a monkey wrench into the beach renourishment project that was coming up? Is it just delay it, or
that's what this is all part of that?
Gotcha.
So they're going to the sand that's there that's being sifted will get put back out. You know, it's obviously probably not going to be enough sand to cover all the areas, and we're going to need help getting the sand that we need in some of the other areas. So it's just taking a little bit of time. There's Sanibel obviously needs a lot of help too. So we're not alone in the help category.
Tonya, I am not going to ask that question on the show here, but if you want to send me an email, I will give you the list of electricians that we've accumulated from the folks that trust them and that are not getting totally taken to the cleaners. Is probably a different way to say it. If my wife heard me say that, she's smacking me around. We talked about the FEMA trailers earlier in the show. If you want to go back, Santini Plaza, any news on the rebuilding of the businesses there?
No, I haven't heard. We actually talked about that today. Has anybody heard from them to see what their plans are yet? But I haven't gotten a response. I don't know where they're at. We still have our CRC set up down there, so people can still go down there and get the things that they need. We are, just to give you kind of the heads up so people aren't caught off guard. We did have conversations today about when are we going to have to start phasing some of these things out. When there's going to come a time where we can't have showers there, and we can't have. So we just started discussions today about that, but you need to be prepared. There's going to come a time where we're not going to be able to have those assets down there any longer. People are going to want them back. So we'll keep them as long as we can, but that day is probably going to be coming. Hopefully we'll get it through the end of the year, but we're working on it.
Speaking of things that probably aren't going to be there forever, and that's that emergency room hospital that you have over by the Wyndham. And a couple folks have said to me that people have to start using it or they're going to go away. And I don't know if people even actually know it's there. It's free. They will ask you for your insurance information, but if you don't have any, they're still going to treat you. So if something's wrong, you don't have to drive off the island. It is basically a full operating hospital that they have right in the parking lot there.
Yeah, the state sees the need for it, and they're helping us out with that for now. They're also helping us out with getting our temporary facility set up with the 2 clinics that we had on the island to be able to set their shop up. So if people went to one and not the other, they'll have the comfortability of going back to their doctors. That's part of the same setup that I was talking about earlier with Town Hall being set up here at the Tops property. So we're hoping to have one area where people could come and see their doctor. They can talk to someone at the town if they need to. They want to stop by the fire department. We're all going to be in one area. That's the main goal. And so that's coming. It's just going to take time. So once that gets set up and established, then you'll probably see that ER go away.
Gotcha. And for folks that are wondering about beach cleanups, the Keep Lee County Beautiful Beach Cleanup is Wednesday morning from I think it's 8 to 11, or I know it's Wednesday. I'm forgetting the time. They do have 100 slots filled, and they did say to me today that if you wanted to go, you can still walk up. They were just concerned about the parking. Norm's Parking is where they're going to meet. Terry Prasad also said you can park in the Sunset Grill parking lot if you need extra parking. You can help clean up. You can walk up. They just wanted to limit it to 100 because they were concerned about the parking. Speaking of the parking, Dan, is the town charging for parking right now? Or if you parked on one of the streets, the meter signs are there. Is the town charging?
Well, I will say if someone wants to pay for the parking, we will certainly take it. Obviously, we've lost all of our revenue, so people, and I've been told people are paying, so that's great. If the sign's up, we're working to try to get more signs, hopefully put up where we can put them up. I mean, it only helps the town. If we can raise some money through that, that's great. But I guess that's the best answer I can give you.
Okay.
The signs are up, and some people, not everyone is doing it, but some people are logging onto the app and paying the fee to park. So
you're not going. They're not writing tickets, but the town would prefer that you paid if you can. Sounds of it. I didn't get a ticket on Saturday for parking for the show because I had no idea whether you were allowed to park there. I saw the sign there, and so I just want. If there's a rule, I want to know what the rule is. Not.
Yeah, no. People have been gracious in paying the fee, and I thank them for that. That's very kind, and they probably don't have to do it, but the fact that people are doing it shows that they care and they want to help out any way they can. It's not a ton of money, but you go from the town's budget was $2 million in parking fees that were collected every year. So, that's in a budget of 21 million, 2 million goes a long way. So every little bit helps.
Right. Lastly, on the beach cleanup, they are working on other ones, Keep Lee County Beautiful. One on the south end, they're organizing, and as soon as they have all the details, we'll make sure that you see them all. So you mentioned it kind of in the last answer, but have you and Chris and the other interim manager, I apologize, his name is escaping me. I only talked to Chris so far. Are you both feeling like the town is going to be financially sound? Is the town okay? Or, I mean, we have all these costs and really no revenue. So what's the feel? What's the vibe there?
Yeah, Jim Steele and Mr. Holly have both said that Mr. Holly hasn't had a lot of time to look at it. He's still working through it. So both have said that on paper it looks like we're in good shape. Obviously, losing revenue is not going to help. But we've got good relationships with our county partners and the state and the federal government who are helping us any way that they can. Anything we need, for the most part, they're giving it to us. So they want to see us succeed. They see how hard our staff is working. They see how hard everybody's working at the compound here, if you will, to try to move one foot in front of the other. So that's all. At some point, we're going to have to start charging for parking, and we're going to have to start going back to things as normal. I mean, we just have to if we want to continue on as a community, which I know we all do and we all will. We have to get back to some normalcy, and that's part of normalcy is having to charge for parking and some other things. So we won't be able to relieve everything that we in a perfect world. That'd be great if we could do that, but we need to be sure that our pencil is sharp and that we're watching where we're spending our money, and we're cutting back where we can cut back, and we're applying funds where we need to apply funds to make it better. I mean, sometimes you got to spend money to make money, and it's just figuring out what path those are that we need to go down to be able to make that a success.
All righty. So we appreciate you doing this. The next town council meeting is a week from today, and then it's going to be every Monday to the end of the year before you get back to your regular schedule. Is that right?
It'll be, well, no, we'll have there's 2 meetings and an MMP meeting, I think, in December. Unfortunately, we had to cancel the one today because of our town clerk's unfortunate situation. So if she's listening, hope you and your family are doing well. And if there's anything we can do to help, please let us know. But yeah, so we'll have a meeting next Monday, and then I believe it's the 12th. I don't have the calendar in front of me. And then that'll be it for the end of the year, and then we'll get back to the normal schedule starting for January.
Okay. Did we miss anything that you wanted to make sure you told the audience on your list of things of information to get out there?
No, I think you pretty much covered it. There was something, but I can't remember and it's on one of my pages of notes, and I don't want to hold you up while I'm looking for it, but if I think of it, I'll put it out there for you to
All right.
send out there.
Dan, Thanks so much for your time. Thanks for everything you're doing, and we appreciate you coming on and answering all the questions. And we hope we could do this every Monday. It's great information to get out to the community, and there's always more questions that pop up during the week. So thanks so much.
Yeah, line them up, and we'll knock them down again.
All right, Dan. Have a great night. Thanks a lot, and get some sleep.
Maybe head home soon.
All right. Mayor Dan Allers, everybody. The first episode of Monday with the mayor. And just a couple of quick updates for you. The yellow T-shirts are for sale again on the beachtalkradionews.com website. And the reason we're doing that, we put them up, we put the link up on the news website so that you don't get scammed by these crackpots that are getting on our Facebook page and posting all these links. So you'll go on there. We have a form to fill out. Then Marie will get back to you with how to pay. We created these extra steps again, so you know it's all secure and it's people talking to people. And then you'll either pay with a check or PayPal, and then we'll get the shirt out to you either by mail or tell you where to pick it up when the shirts come in. We're getting another big box tomorrow and hopefully one on Friday. We did start to place the order for the blue sweatshirts today, so we'll keep you up to date on that. Ordered some new hats. All those will be coming in soon. And the other thing is Saturday from 4 to 7, we are collecting toys for the Beach Foundation, and we're going to have like a mini concert in the Sunset Grill parking lot. Thanks to Terry Prasad, Sheena Brook, and D-Rocks will be playing from 4 to 7, so you can see the sunset behind them. And all these toys that you're sending through the Amazon wish list will be stacked out in front of the stage, and then the Beach Kids Foundation will take them away for their holiday. So that's what's coming up. And Friday, start our regular 5 o'clock happy hour show at the new Mangaritas. I saw Jacinta there, so I wanted to make sure I did not forget to mention that. So Friday at the new Mangaritas, Saturday at Wahoo Willie's at 11 o'clock, and Saturday night from 4 to 7, we hope to see you at the Times Square area for a little mini concert to bring in bring in toys for the Beach Foundation. So thanks a lot. If you guys have any other questions for Dan for next time, you can email them or send them over to me and I'll stack them up for next Monday show. Otherwise, you guys have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.